Well, I'm the one who said I had to think about this. And I should have thought about it for a longer time before I said yes. But I interpreted this as to how I got here or into the community. And so I'm going to start with fourth grade. No, in fourth grade, I was in a public school. And I can't hear? Okay. Okay. In fourth grade, I was in a public school, but I made up my mind right then and there that I was going to be a teacher. And I never fluctuated from that at all. I always felt I'd be a teacher. Now, I went to a public grade school and a public high school. But in the 30s, we had catechism class. You know, today they call it something else. And so I met nuns, and I knew what they were, but I certainly never had any ideas about being one. And when I went to the public high school, the summer between my sophomore and junior year, I was thinking about going back to school, getting ready for going back to school, and I didn't want to go back to school. I didn't want to go back to that school. And that was very that was very strange, because I liked the teachers, I liked the students, I liked the school in general, and I had a wonderful set of friends. So it was just very mysterious that, pardon me, that I didn't want to go back to school. So I said to my parents, I'd like to go to a Catholic school. And they said, okay. So my mother suggested Holy Angels. Now, I did not know Holy Angels from any other school, so I said, okay. So we went down to register. I don't know why I'm shaking, so I'm not, anyway. We went down to register, and Sister Michael Flynn was the principal there, and she was doing the registering that day. And she grilled me, and I mean grilled. And then she was called out of the room, and I said to my mother, let's get out of here. I don't want to go to this school. And my mother said, just answer her questions. So I did. And when she came back in, she was a totally different person. I realized years later that she had somebody call my former school and found out, I wasn't dangerous. And so I could come to school. So anyway, when it was getting close to the time, I have to say this because this is very important, I think. My mother asked me after a few weeks of being in school how I liked it, or I really liked being at Holy Angels. Pardon me. And I said, yes, I really did. And she said, your grandmother always wanted the two of you to be in a Catholic school. And I was pleased with that, but I didn't think much of it. I'm going to come back to that, though, later, because that's an important sentence in my life, I think. Well, anyway, I went to Holy Angels, and when it was getting near time for us to graduate, Robert Ella, Dorothy Coons, asked me what college I was thinking of, and I said, St. Mary's of Notre Dame. And she said, have you ever thought about Clark? And I said, what's Clark? I had never heard about Clark. Pardon me, I have to take a break. I think this microphone's scaring me. Anyway, so she said, well, they're having like an open house or whatever the next couple of weekends. I'm fine. Thank you. The next couple of weekends, and you might want to look at it, go and check it out. So I talked to my parents, and we decided to visit Clark. And what we saw, we liked. Of course, it was a very small school in those days. That was the 40s. So anyway, I registered, and all this time, I am not thinking about becoming a BVM. In fact, when I saw the BVM habit, I thought it was god-awful ugly. I had never seen any that was quite that bad. But anyway, where was I? It was at Clark. And my sophomore year, the thought crossed my mind that I might think about being a religious. And I happened to tell my mother that. I knew she wasn't happy about it, but I said, don't worry about it because it's just a thought, and I'm going to finish college. I knew I would finish college. So I went back to school, of course, and junior year, I started to think about it, but not real seriously. And then by senior year, I thought, well, I'm going to have to make some sort of a decision. I'm either going out to teach in Wisconsin at a public school, or I'm going to enter. And I finally made up my mind. No, I did not I talked to one or two nuns, but very seldom. And I didn't tell any of my friends. And one of my friends said to me, if you had told me that you were going to live on a desert island in the middle of the Pacific, I couldn't be more surprised. And so, anyway, I did make up my mind that I would enter. And I guess here I am. The thing I want to say about my grandmother's saying that she wanted us to be in a Catholic school, my grandmother had died in March, and this was July that I was not thinking about going back to the school I had been in. And I really think, I'm convinced that my grandmother had something to do with that, because that was such a strange thing. It was just odd. And so now, if I ever have a very, very, very bad day, I'm going to blame Grandma.